guys, welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show. So, taking you through all of the stuff arrived in the store this week, my pull list, variants, a few other bits and pieces as well. So, obviously last week I didn't put a show out. The reason for that was it was such a quiet week release-wise. It was one of those months where there's 5 Wednesdays in the month. So, when that happens, when the 5th week comes, there's always a lack of releases, not loads of new stuff. Lots of annuals, lots of one-shots, and not much more than that, to be honest. So I just didn't really see the point in doing it. And then this week, I could have almost done the same thing and ignored it, because I don't know if people who watch this have checked out our social media, but this week, unfortunately, there's a lack of Marvel single issues. So apparently it was a case of titles that were not received by Diamond UK from Diamond US in time to be organized, picked, and sent out to accounts. So this is a comic store wide thing this week. It's not just us. It'll be, every other comic store you can think of will not have Marvel titles this week, and then it'll be a double week next week for Marvel. So that's going to be a fun delivery to do, to say the least. So yeah, there won't be any Marvel stuff here. I promise it's not my DC bias coming to the fore and just ignoring Marvel. It's just there's a lack of Marvel titles this week. So, but no, there's still plenty of good stuff, which of course I'll take you through. In the store in the last week or so, we've been adding more stuff to the website, coffeeandheroes.com. We have been massively putting out those back issue days. So I focused quite a lot on Justice League and the various iterations of it. So Justice League stuff went out, Justice League Dark stuff went out, Justice League International stuff went out. I did the end of DC as well. I did Titans, I did Teen Titans. I've probably put the guts of anywhere between 600 and 700 issues, fresh issues out in the last sort of 2 weeks. So again, just trying to make sure they're as packed as possible. We've been packing the graphic novel shelves as well to have as much choice as possible for Christmas. The one frustrating thing at the moment is that we're waiting on about £2,000 to £3,000 worth of merch to come. Now this is very frustrating. Obviously it's to do with the Royal Mail strikes. I ordered stuff mid-November thinking that would be plenty of time and it would arrive in time, but obviously here we are, first week in December, we're still waiting on that to come. So if and when that arrives, I will make sure to put out social media stuff on it. I'll probably do a wee video just showcasing stuff that came in, but it's incredibly frustrating because one or two of the shelves are looking a wee bit empty for my liking, and I really have some cool stuff coming that I want to pack them out with before Christmas. If you do struggle for presents for people, I've always said that unless I know what people have, it's hard to recommend stuff, but we do of course have gift vouchers. People can then obviously spend the money after Christmas, that kind of thing. What else? We'll be open on Sundays for the next 2 weeks. So Smithfield opens on Sunday in December. We didn't open the previous one there, but we will be open this Sunday and next Sunday. That'll be from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So you can jump in there and we'll have that extra day as well. So yeah, I mean, we're continuing to work hard, as I say, making the store as good as it can be, putting more stuff out. I've even been working on a new background for the YouTube show, so we're going to be doing a wee bit of a relaunch for the YouTube stuff in January. Got some really cool ideas for that as well, so definitely keep an eye out. But I'll move on to this week's stuff. As I say, I've got 4 piles here, 2 piles of new in this week's stuff in terms of graphic novels. I've got a pile here which is my pull list, and I've got a pile here which is variants that have come in this week as well. So I'll kick things off with the variants, as there is a decent chunk of them this week, but again, there's a lack of Marvel, so please don't kill me. There is one Marvel title in here because it should have came last week, but they only sent it this week. So we kick things off with Good Boy, Prodigal Son. So this has been a really fun Source Point press title. Essentially, John Wick, but substitute the human for the dog, i.e. the dog's the one chasing revenge for the human being killed. But this is a 1 per store thank you variant cover. So we're offering this on the variant section. This one is very much adult content only. So this is a series I've really liked called Gun Honey, and the current one is called Blood for Blood, which is the 2nd volume. They do a series of these polybag nude variants. That's what they are. So very much adult content only, guys. Very discerning collectors, I would imagine. This week sees the release of Batman 130, so we have a couple of different variants here. So he kicks things off with Stepan Sajic, who of course was the artist on and creator of Harley, which is thoroughly brilliant. We also have for Batman 130 the Gabriel Del Oro variant as another alternative. All the variants, of course, for DC printed on cardstock. And then we have be prepared to see Spawn on a lot of covers for the next little while. This is also Batman 130, and this is a variant cover done by Clay Mann to celebrate Batman Spawn. This week sees the release of Disney's Gargoyles. We qualified for the 1 to 10 retailer incentive variants from George Cambadeas, so we're offering that in the variants section. We have All Against All, which is a 1 to 25 retailer exclusive variant. This is done by Department of Truth co-creator and artist Martin Simmons. The one Marvel one we have is for Peter Parker and Miles Morales Double Trouble. This is done by Romy Jones. We have Seven Sons Part 7, which comes with this rather nifty Bill Sienkiewicz variant cover as well. And then we finish off with one which was actually more last week, but I had to get a couple extras. This is the Nightwing 2022 Annual. Bruno Redondo has done a design variant for Heartless. The Nightwing 2022 Annual was bloody brilliant, and one of the reasons behind why there's going to be some changes in the new year for the YouTube stuff, because I got to start reviewing more stuff on here, because some of the stuff I've been reading recently has been fantastic. So that's the variant side of things. I'll take you on to my pull list next. So we're going to kick things off. This is a 1 per store variant, but I'm snagging this one for myself. This is a new series called Know Your Station. It's written by Sarah Gailey, who was the author of Eat the Rich, which I thought was an absolutely wonderful title. So it's another case of following creators rather than stories, and therefore I'm going to jump on this. It's Tulalo Tay does the variant cover for that. We have the last issue in this week of Night of the Ghoul. So this is from Scott Snyder, Francesco Francavilla. Just a 3-issue mini-series. Cannot recommend this enough when it hits trade. If you weren't on the singles, make sure to jump on that. Speaking of Scott Snyder, we have Nocterra this week as well. This is a one-shot Val special. They've done this a couple of times for Nocterra, where they focused on a couple of different characters and done a one-shot special around them. So Snyder on this, Tony S. Daniel, of course, co-creator and artist, and then Francis Manapul must do some fill-in art as well. It's the last issue for this horror anthology series called Shock Shop. This has been really, really fun, actually. Colin Bunn on writing, pardon me, and Danny Luckert on art. Undoubtedly, one of the titles to look forward to most this week is That Texas Blood. This is the Christmas special. I love that they do Christmas specials for these. Last year was, telling stories of Christmas and filling in some blanks. That Texas Blood, again, I can't say it enough. One of the best titles around. I think we're 2 trades deep at the moment. 3rd trade due in January. Get on that. That's so, so good. Undiscovered Country. Jesus, big week for Scott Snyder this week. So Undiscovered Country, issue 22. So Scott Snyder, of course, co-creating and co-writing with Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuncoli on art. We have a new issue of Walking Dead this week, so Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 52 we're up to. It's hard to believe we're as far as that. That means this has been popping out for 2 years consistently, as it comes out every 2 weeks, unless you have 5 weeks in a month, and then it's 3 weeks in between. This is a special issue for us this week. So All Against All, this is a new title from Alex Pecknadel and Casper Weingard. Casper Weingard being the artist and Alex Pecknadel being the writer. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries with the possibility of more, depending on how it does. But this is awesome. I interviewed these 2 guys a couple of months back on the podcast network, so check that out. But this is one of the titles that we started that initiative a little while back, where we were offering number ones for £3 instead of the usual £4 price. So we did it with Dex Old Dog, we did it with Kaya from Wes Craig, we did it with Damn Them All from Simon Spurrier and Charlie Adler. So we're doing it with this week. So again, if you want to give something a chance at a lower price, see if you like it, you may jump on the series and sub to it. But this is number 1, and again, it's going to be £3. Brilliant first issue, incredible art as well. Also this week is Bloodstained Teeth. We're up as far as number 7. So Christian Ward, Patrick Reynolds on art. Slight sad note to Bloodstained Teeth. I met Christian Ward at Thought Bubble, and he told me this is going to stop at 10 issues. Now, I've really enjoyed Bloodstained Teeth, but just going to be 10 issues in total. So if you haven't jumped onto it, there is a trade available, which I think is indeed here, which will cover 2 story arcs, 5 issues each. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a hardcover down the line. Deadlock is this week as well, so number 4. In fact, no, this was last week, but I didn't have enough issues for myself, so I had to order one. Melissa Flores and Carlo Magno on art for this one, so part of the Massive Verse. Undoubtedly, the biggest title this week for yours truly is Do a Powerbomb. Oh, what a title. Issue 7 of 7. I'm not ready for this to end. I wish it was longer. Honestly, one of the books of the year for me. The trade paperback is on pre-order for February release. Again, cannot recommend enough, and top of the reading pile tonight. I'd mentioned Good Boy Prodigal Son. I just go for the cover A's. Nifty little face-off homage right there. So Face Off Kids was a movie back in the 90s with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. If you haven't seen it, see it. Kaya is this week as well, so issue 3 for Wes Craig's creator-owned series, of course, writing and drawing. We still got number 1s and 2, so if you want to jump on it, can't recommend enough, just great stuff. Batman 130 is this week, so this is the end of the Failsafe arc from Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. So if you haven't jumped on Failsafe, it's been a great arc, but this is the last issue, so if you're thinking of jumping on Batman and you need a jumping on point, 131 would be the one to go for, which is the next issue out to start a new story arc. Got Batman Joker Deadly Duo issue 2 this week. First issue, this was fantastic from Mark Silvestri. I collect the Batman variants for this, which seems to be so unfashionable. Everybody collects the Joker variants. But Kelly Jones doing the variant for this issue. We have the latest issue of Gotham City Year 1. So Tom King, Phil Hester, going back into the dirty underworld of Gotham, back long before Bruce Wayne existed. Long before even his parents existed. But that's been really cool so far. And is it cover of the week? I think it might just be. We have the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 3. Lee Bermeo variant, Joker as Santa, a kid dressed up in a Robin outfit crying, holding a stuffed Batman. It's just such a good cover and very timely. So that's my pull list this week. Of course, there are other titles beyond these. No Marvel, again, just to reiterate. But there are other indie titles there and a couple of other DC ones that I'm not on. So we'll move on to what came in this week in terms of graphic novels and so forth. I'm going to set a couple of these to the side so I can put the big ones back to the bottom again. So we kick things off with Kane Black. Oh, look at this thing. So the Kane Black Omnibus, Donny Cates, Rand Stegman, and every single tie-in that you can think of is in this book. You're talking 60 issues or so. It's good. I'm not even going to read it all out, but give you a selection. You've got Kane Black Immortal Hulk, Marauders, Black Panther, Ghost Rider, Return of the Valkyries, Symbiote Spider-Man, Daredevil issues, Deadpool issues, all kinds of stuff tying into it, and of course the Kane Black 1-5 miniseries itself. The RRP, we'll notice, is $135 for this. Our price is $120. So again, we offer discounts where we can, guys. I've discounted all of the omnibus section, so hopefully if there's some bigger titles in there you've had your eye on for a while, price-wise they're the best they're going to be. So big bad boy this week. And yes, I may have taken a copy myself as well. But a better looking one for me this week definitely is the Absolute Multiversity. So this was a Grant Morrison brainchild. What this was basically exploring the 52 different universes in the DC multiverse. You had different artists involved. You had the likes of Frank Quitely, Jim Lee, Doug Mackey, Ivan Rice. Series of one-shots. We also had a guidebook as well for the DC multiverse. So much passion went into this, so much effort, and it now being put in this absolute format in this beautiful slipcase. Fantastic. Same again, RRP is $90. We're selling it at $85. Next up is Adventure Man, book 2. So it's been a really cool series from Matt Fraction and the Dodsons, Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson. So this is the second arc, which is Fairy Tale of New York. As you'll see, it's this bigger expanded format. It's almost like the European comic style. But yeah, volume 2 of that is this week. Moving on to trades, I'd mentioned it before, Bloodstained Teeth, Christian Ward, Patrick Reynolds. Great series about vampires and using their abilities for currency. But really good. Some of the best art around that. You got Punisher. So this is the first volume of the Jason Aaron run called The King of Killers. So Jason Aaron, you have 2 different artists on each issue. You have Paul Azaceta, who is the co-creator and artist on Outcast, and you have Jesus Says. Jesus Says does the modern Frank Castle stuff. Paul Azaceta does the stuff set in the past, so it works perfectly. But nice chunky big bad boy. It's the first 6 issues, but issue 1 was oversized as well. Radiant Red is out this week, so again, if you like the massive verse and you're sticking to trades, of course you've got Radiant Black, of course you've got Radiant Pink coming out this week as well in terms of single issues. You've got some great stuff in the massive verse, and then this is Radiant Red 1-5, but also a Radiant Black issue that ties into it as well. Got Rogues Gallery out this week. This was a 4-issue mini-series, which was all to do with toxic fandom, very timely. I believe it got turned into it got optioned anyway for a TV show recently. Lovely Francesco Francavilla cover there as well. Seven Secrets back in stock. I wanted to get volume 1s back in stock in time for Christmas because it's one of our favourite titles. Great for all ages, great for the manga lovers in your life who maybe want to dip their toe into comics. 3 volumes is the whole thing. Volume 1, that's your starting point. Tom Taylor and Daniel Dinaculo. A little bit of an older one for you here, which is Batman Joker's Asylum. So this is a collection of one-shots. Joker's Asylum, the Joker, Penguin, Scarecrow, Two-Face, the Riddler. It's almost Batman One Bad Day before Batman One Bad Day. But yeah, a different bunch of creators working on this and all collected into one volume. Next up we have Gunslinger Spawn, first volume there for people who are enjoying the Spawn stuff at the moment. First 6 issues collected all in the trade. It's got that Image $10 price point, so £9. So fresh in this week and onto the shelves. We have Inferno, the trade paperback. We do have the Inferno hardcovers, which are in the omnibus section. But if you just want to go in with a more trade paperback, a little cheaper in price, this is the way to go. So continued on with the Hickman X-Verse. Lazarus, we have volume 7, which is a slightly thicker volume than the previous Lazarus volumes, all of which are on the shelves. This is Greg Rucka, Michael Lark. But this is a collection of Lazarus Risen, which became, so basically Lazarus became like a quarterly title, but every time it came out, it was a bigger issue. So that'll be why it's a little bit chunkier. Getting back in stock, the Lock and Key hardcovers. So volumes 2 and 3 here of Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, Magnum Opus. Volume 1's right in the shelf, and then 4 onwards on the shelf. So yeah, I just want to make sure these are in it as well for Christmas. We got Immortal X-Men, which covers Immortal X-Men 1 to 6 from Kieran Gillen. From what I understand, one of the best X titles around. We have King of Spies, which was awesome, which was 4 issues in total. It was basically all about an older Secret Service agent. What does he do after he retires? He settles some scores is what he does. Next up is Middle West Book 2. So Middle West, again, another series we're big fans of. It's 3 volumes in total. It was 18 issues. Volumes 1 and 3 are on the shelf. Need a volume 2, so if you're going to get into it, they're all there. I'll stick these 3 together. We're getting all of Metal in again. So if you want to get into Metal, which for me is DC's best event in the last 10 years, and I only say 10 years because I really love Final Crisis, and Flashpoint. So you have the Road to Metal, you have the Dark Knights Rising Metal, which is all the one-shots of all the evil Batman, and then you have the main series itself, Metal, which is 1 to 6. So again, always ask for advice if you're not sure where to start or what the reading order is or that kind of thing. Deadly Class Volume 11, A Fond Farewell Part 1. So, of course, Volume 12 came out recently. I did notice that in my hope to have all of Deadly Class on the shelves at all times, Volume 11 was missing. Yeah, what can I say about Deadly Class that I haven't said a million times before? Gun Honey, the trade is out. So I'd mentioned Blood for Blood before, which is the 2nd volume. This is the 1st volume, just great adult-orientated noir. And then I never did a show last week, so I never got a chance to say it, but I'm working on getting the Hellblazer volumes in, the original Vertigo Constantine Hellblazer stuff. So this is volume 10, which is written by Paul Jenkins, Sean Phillips on art for this one, called In the Line of Fire. But I got 5 or 6 volumes in last week, including the Hellblazer from the very start, if you're looking somewhere to jump in. So that is us for this week. As I say, one last reminder, no Marvel titles this week, so probably why the show's a little shorter than before. But next week will be a big one, so expect like an hour-length show. Don't hold me to that. But yeah, as ever, pull lists are all ready and ready for collection. And all these titles go out on the shelves today/tomorrow, depending when you wear this, depending when you watch this. But they'll be out New Comic Book Day this week. So as ever, hope this proved useful, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you in the store throughout the week. So take it easy.